So it's that time of year, sugaring season, and you just came back from Dakin Farms where, there's all that maple sausage and you couldn't resist, and now you're stuck because you had your total cholesterol and fat for the day. So what do? Well, I have an alternative to a high protein, high fat, high cholesterol dinner, and that's still high protein because you want to manage that, but this time it's virtually fat free, virtually cholesterol free, and that's going to be a stuffed bell pepper. So to make the stuffed bell pepper, I like to use a lot of the stuff I have lying around or I've reused in the past. I had this rice for dinner yesterday, and it's a great way to reuse something that you've already made. You don't have to make it a second time. So I've got the brown rice in there. Now I like onions, I like tomatoes, and I like garlic in my bell pepper. But you really want a protein source also, and since we've exhausted high meat protein sources, unless you want to use fish or something lean like turkey or chicken, that's still an option for you. But if you don't want to use beef or anything like that, go ahead and just use mushrooms. They're really cheap, they're a great source of protein, and they taste wonderful. So the first step is going to be to cut these mushrooms. Just dice them in a little tiny cubes, or however you want them, however small or large you want them. You can just take a couple handfuls, 2 or 3 handfuls. Remember, you want to stuff this bell pepper, so you don't want too much of anything. But at the same time, you can reuse the inside stuffing for lunch the next day, as a salad, or something quick in Tupperware. Try to make the best use of your time, because I know time is short sometimes when you're cooking a lot and you're on the go. I also like garlic, as I mentioned before. I like to cut the stem off the garlic and then crush it with my knife. And that opens up the garlic completely from its shell. And then you can chop it up to little tiny cubes. And then do the same for your onion and your tomato, or whatever else you want to put in there. Next, I'm going to go ahead and throw this into a pot, and we'll take it over to the stove. See where that gets us. Okay, so now we're cooking our ingredients on the stove. If you remember from that last scene that I had a pan full of spinach. I got it from a box of spinach. It's frozen, it's cheap, it's easy and convenient. All I did to it is throw it into a pan and put some salt and garlic powder in there, and now it's nice and cooked. That's going to be my vegetable side with some nice greens. Over here, I have our mix of the brown rice, the mushroom, the garlic, the red onion, and the tomato. So I'm stirring it here. And, if you can afford it and you have the calories available for the day and the leeway to have some more fat and cholesterol in your day or your week, and if you bank on it, you can add just a drizzle of olive oil. You don't need very much. This stuff is already moist and will cook really well without it. But olive oil adds a nice little flavor to it and actually helps the flavors mix a little bit better. In addition to it, I like to add a little bit of salt, not too much, and pepper. And I don't want paprika today, I like red pepper. I'm going to add some red pepper. And to make it a little bit more tangy, I'm going to put lime in there as well. No seeds, got lucky this time. Alright. So just wait for that to cook for about 1 or 2 minutes, and after that, we'll stuff the pepper. Okay. So the mixture for the inside is ready, and we're ready to stuff our bell pepper. So in order to do that, take your pepper, go ahead and wash it, just to get everything off the outside. You can pull out the stem here. Generally comes out pretty easily. It's okay if it doesn't. Cut the top open just a little bit. And pull out all the seeds. And what I like to do is just rinse the rest of it out in a sink and then let it drip dry a little bit so that all the seeds come out and it's not too spicy. I'll rinse it out in the sink, and if you notice, I made the hole kind of small. That's on purpose to let the steam from inside the pepper go ahead and cook everything so it doesn't escape and it retains the flavors. So I'm just going to go ahead and stuff it here. You know, as much of it as you can fit. And that's okay if the outside gets a little messy. It's not a big deal. And you'll be surprised at how much you can actually fit inside one of these bell peppers. It's quite a bit. And you can also use a spoon to kind of stuff it down in there instead of a big spoon like I'm using. Just make sure the mixture has cooled, otherwise you're going to burn yourself. So here's my pepper. It's nice and stuffed. It's pretty full. I'm just going to throw it onto a baking dish along with the sweet potato. And I'll put the pepper in there for about 20 minutes or so. Let the sweet potato sit in there for 45 minutes. And then I'll have a nice pepper. I'll have spinach for my veggies, and I'll have sweet potato for my starch. So the oven is already preheated to 350 degrees, and here it goes. So here we have it. Our stuffed bell pepper meal is finished. So is our sweet potato. I cut it in half. I didn't add any butter or olive oil or anything else to it, just kind of keeping it a little bit healthier. But for a little bit of flavor, feel free to add, a spoonful or so, a small spoonful of sour cream. Again, we're using fat-free sour cream to lower our fat intake and our cholesterol intake. We have our steamed spinach with a little bit of veggies, and finally, our bell pepper. It should be nice and cooked and all the flavors inside of it marinated. Of course, I'm drinking water. Remember, part of a heart-healthy diet is also managing your blood pressure and your diabetes or your blood sugar levels. So we want low-fat, low-salt, low-sugar diet with a lot of protein. And again, have fun with it and enjoy.